Good morning, my friends, or afternoon or evening, depending on when you watch this and where you're at. Welcome to this episode of Healing Your Codependency. I'm Marshall Burtcher, and I'm excited to be here with you today. Today, we're going to jump into a how to properly prioritize yourself, because in codependency, we have the habit of over-prioritizing others and completely under-prioritizing ourselves. And that's what we're going to jump in today. If you're new to me, I'm Marshall. It's nice to meet you. I help codependents transform their life. I turn codependents into confident, satisfied people in their relationships, their purpose, their prosperity. Help you navigate the 3 phases of exiting codependency, which I call self-authority development or self-authority journey. Exit survival. We enter and navigate the healing and growing phase, so we know, love, be who we are, and then enter our creator phase, where we create the things we want in our reality. So I'm excited to be here with you today. Let's jump in to correctly prioritizing yourself. An essential skill to help us exit the paradigm of codependency. So it's just as a quick context here, I view codependency as a paradigm, as a strategy for navigating and tolerating or surviving chaotic, unreliable, dangerous, or harmful relational systems. That can be our family system, our primary relationships, friendships. That could be culture. That could be with religion. Anything that causes us to feel like our safety, our well-being, our worth, our belonging are at risk if we don't please the person, place, or thing. That's a threat. And for us, when dealing with codependency, our body kicks in what's called the fawn response or fawn reflex to navigate that, and that's what inspires your codependent tactics, which would be people-pleasing, perfectionism, toleration of unhealthy behavior. I call that toxic accommodation, enabling, and all of that. With that context in mind, that codependency is a strategy, it's a way we view the world, it's a way in which we navigate and relate to ourselves, others, and life, we can jump in here into correctly prioritizing yourself. So, in codependency, the maximum, the focus, the purpose is safety first. Safety emotionally, safety relationally, so I feel like I belong, I have some worth, I matter. And that relies on prioritizing the other far too much. So in healthy relating, interdependent relating, we are treating each other with healthy priority, meaning I am aware of your wants and needs, you are aware of mine, and we value these together. There is a me and you experience going on in that relationship. In codependency, it's you, maybe me here and there, you. Now, narcissism or narcissistic systems, it's me. Oh, here's something for you, but that's about me. And in the codependent paradigm of prioritizing the other, we're doing this in order to protect ourselves, to give ourselves some power to meet our 3 core necessities: safety, belonging, self-worth. And the brain is wired to do this through the fawn reflex. The impulse in it trains us to make their feelings first, make their desires first, make their limits first, make considering them first. And really what's going on is just considering them all the time. We don't really ever get to come back to ourselves as much as we think we will. And a lot of times, especially if we're coming from, say, the anxious attachment orientation, we are hoping that they will do that back to us. Now, if you're more on the avoidance side, your reflex will be relief. You're like, okay, well, they're happy. Now I can go and be over here and do my own thing. And the anxious attachment, it's more like, I hope they'll return that to me. I hope that they will love me the way I'm loving them. Because we're looking for that reassurance that we're valued and that we are important and that we matter and we have some sort of intrinsic worth to this person. This is why we prioritize, guys. And this prioritization shows up not just as a thinking thing. It's more of an automatic or reflex that we feel an impulse to do. And that is, oh, what are they thinking? What are they feeling? I'm like, they had a bad day at work. I've got to think about all these things, so I make sure I don't upset them, for instance. Or they're hurting, so you prioritize their well-being, even though they're hurting because they screwed up. They did something that hurt you, and now you're maximizing their well-being and comfort over your own discomfort and pain. That's over prioritization. You're tired, you're exhausted, you want to take an evening and watch a movie or go to bed early or go out for a walk, but no, they want to do this thing and that thing while you make those the priority and further drain yourself, further lead yourself into burnout. These are the kinds of examples that demonstrate this over prioritization, and it's driven by an impulse of anxiety about what they think, and then ultimately, if I say no or I don't do it, what will happen to me when I do that? Now, we're not necessarily thinking that directly or clearly about it. It's more like we feel this anxiety and this pressure to make sure things are okay over there. We feel sometimes this elation or a little bit of a high going, if I make them feel good, I'll feel good. We are chasing our safety that way by focusing on them. This is what we do in people pleasing big times. We are over prioritizing their feelings, their needs, their wants, and completely ignoring our own. So it's that you, maybe me, you pattern showing up there. Now the opposite of this is self-prioritization, meaning I am putting myself in the first position. So first position means I think about me, then you. So the order of relating shifts from you, me, to me, then you. Now, I've gotten a little pushback on that at times because, Marshall, but, isn't that narcissistic to put yourself first? No, it's actually the proper order. And the reason why narcissism is about I'm the only one that matters. I deserve special privilege and consideration. Everybody needs to look at me. It's Mr. Meeseeks. Hey, Mr. Meeseeks, look at me. It's not that. Putting ourselves first is not that. Putting ourselves first goes, I need to check in with me and see what I think and feel about this. How does this situation, this request, whatever's going on, align with me? Align with my values, my priorities, my capacity, my need in this moment, my want in this moment. Where am I in this experience? We have to turn internally to find ourselves, to acknowledge ourselves, to hear ourselves, and then to respect and follow ourselves. So we're moving from this external orientation about being fixated on their feelings, their wants, their needs, their comfort, whatever it is that's going on over there, turning inward and prioritizing ours first. When we do this, what it leads to is this me, then you order of operations. So I know what I'm feeling. I know what my capacity is. Now I know what to communicate to you. So an example, person A comes to me and says, Marshall, I want to go out tonight. Let's go dancing. And internally I check in with myself. I'm like, man, I've got this other priority to do. I need to get that done because if I don't, it's going to kind of domino into other things that won't work for me. And so in the over prioritization of them, I might feel a lot of anxiety, like, I'm going to disappoint them. I don't want to deal with that. Maybe I can just fit this in. Maybe I can stress out this tomorrow. I can just shift everything. We're not thinking about ourselves in that moment. We're thinking about them. So the first prioritization component here would be, person A, I want to. I do. Right now I have this deadline. I have this priority I need to get done so I can stay in order and stay on the timeline I've got for these priorities I have for me. So I'm not going to be able to tonight. Let me look at my schedule and see if I can fit it in tomorrow or maybe next week. What do you think? And also, I really love that you reached out to me. I really value dancing with you, going out with you, and I want to do that. So what are your thoughts? Now we can have a conversation. I can see where they're at. I can value and appreciate their connection and their bid for time with me. And now I've also prioritized myself. So now I am clearly communicating to them what my current priority is while also appreciating and valuing the bid for connection. This is how interdependency can work for us. But it requires us to move out of over prioritizing their feelings and wants and needs and move into considering our wants and needs first and how they relate to theirs. Notice that we're not elevating ours above theirs either. Ours is not necessarily better or more important than theirs are. It's more about, I need to understand where I'm at and what's going on for me so I can say yes and no or relate to this bid more effectively. And in that relating, I can identify the bid for connection, the bid for time, affection, play, really value that. So that even if I am saying no, I am making an attempt to leave a feeling of appreciation, love, and connection, even in the no. Sometimes it might be like, yeah, I can negotiate that and go out for an hour and come back, or go out for 2 hours, and then tomorrow's shifted, fine, whatever. But the decision needs to be made by accessing you first, by sensing into what you think and feel, what you value and prioritize right now, so that you can then relate honestly and clearly with them. And then you find out what is real with them. Because maybe they're like, yeah, that works fine. Or, oh, I'm sad. Just really looking forward to it. But maybe we could do this. I could come over. We could make a little dinner together, and then you could work on that, and I could hang out. All right. There are ways to negotiate outcomes that we're looking for there. This is the cool part of interdependency, is it's not a war between our needs. It's more about how can we both meet each other's needs in ways that work for us. That's the beauty of this. But it all starts with knowing yourself first so that you can then communicate to them. Me, then you. And then in that experience of me, then you, we can create you and me experiences where things are fulfilled. Now, this is kind of an advanced function, honestly. When we're establishing boundaries, saying no, saying yes, clarifying things, listening. These are functions built on a foundation, a specific foundation. So codependency isn't just this nebulous blob that doesn't have a whole lot of structure. It's a very direct result of that fawning reflex that's kicked into gear when we realize the people and the places and things we depend on for our survival are threatening to us, they're dangerous to us, and now we got to appease them in order to survive, meet those needs of belonging, safety, and self-worth. The exit for this process is this foundation of resourcing our emotional safety and the skills in it within ourselves, building our ability to bring soothing to our anxiety, building capacity emotionally, soothing pain, and then building co-regulated experiences with us and other trusted persons, which leads us into the second component. So first component is building emotional safety in this foundation for yourself. Second component is social belonging with supportive community and play community. When we have those communities, we can lean on them for support, for guidance, for play, co-regulation, practicing the skills we're developing, and helping us start to know, love, and be who we are. And then that third component helps us start to practice being in our independent self-worth. These three components establish a foundation of becoming who we are. So in my lifetime of getting out of codependency started to take off. My freedom from it started to take off when I established emotional safety, started building that social belonging, and started occupying the experience of independent self-worth in my life. I was then able to start knowing, loving, and being who I am in my life, which allowed me to become the creator of the things I have in my world. My relationships, my purpose, my prosperity started to flourish because of this foundation. And that's why I have a course called Foundation, because that's what I teach you how to do. I lead you through that so that you can establish this and start to build yourself in your life again. That is the solution to codependency, is being you. And that is all built on the foundation of being able to become your own self-authority, which is empowered by your ability to regulate tension and pain and joy through emotional safety, build and maintain social belonging, and operate from your independent self-worth. So you want help in this. You want to be free from your codependency. You want to be free from this over-prioritization. You want to know who you are and start living it. Come join me in Foundation as the first step in this 3-step journey, because Foundation is where I teach you that emotional safety, build out that social belonging and independent self-worth, and that leads you into the heal and grow system where you know, love, and be who you are. And we build big community and a lot of support in that. And then into create where I teach you how to create your life from an aligned, intuitive process that's unique to you. Foundation, its next live series is starting here March 2nd, 2025. If you're listening to this after that date, check the link below in the description or go to healyourcodependency.com to find out the next start date. You can also enroll in the on-demand edition and do this and then be coupled to the community that will support you in that with me and other students, where I get together on Sundays to discuss what you're discovering and help you master these skills and bring them into your world. So again, Foundation starts March 2nd, 2025. Link is below on YouTube and Facebook, or healyourcodependency.com if you're listening via podcast. My friends, your peace, your freedom, you loving yourself starts with this foundation of emotional safety, your social belonging, independent self-worth, and the ability to prioritize yourself. Okay? So I want to give you a tool in how to prioritize yourself on this. It's a practice that we do in Foundation and then we expand on in the Heal and Grow system. And it is this: occupying space. When you allow yourself to occupy space, you're allowing yourself to exist. You're allowing yourself to take up energy and resources and time. You're allowing yourself to have definition and shape, color and movement. You're allowing yourself to become real to you. When we allow ourselves to take up space, then I can be like, well, what kind of space do I want to take up? How do I want to take it up? What do I want? What do I need? What do I feel? What are my boundaries? What is my limits? What is my capacity? What are my priorities in these areas? Suddenly you start to succeed. Suddenly you start to go, wow, I don't like that thing. I don't want to do that. Or you're like, oh, I like that. I want to do that. You start to know yourself, which allows you to start to love and be yourself. And it all starts with occupying space. It's not something I imagine you expected to hear, but that's kind of the funny thing here, is the foundation of this is your right to exist. That's an expression of self-authority. I have the right to exist. I have the right to take up space. I have the right to use resources. Because you're already here. Now, if you're a ghost, let me know, but I doubt that, right? Because if you are, let me know. I do have messages for people. But jokes aside, you exist, you're here. Let's take up that space. So, a question for you: what shifts when I give myself permission to take up space? And you can make this more specific. What shifts when I give myself permission to take space up in my job, or to take up space in my business, or in my markets, in the markets that I serve? What shifts when I give myself permission to take up space in my relationships, in my friendships, in my hobbies, in my family? And see what starts to emerge for you. Let me know in the comments below what you discover. I'm really curious about that, because it's one of my favorite experiments. I'm doing it right now, actually. My body's like, wow, I get to take up space doing what I'm doing right now. So we kind of develop a practice of affirming this for ourselves. Because, we are trained to kind of disembody and go out there and think about other people, over-prioritize them rather than being local, being embodied, existing here. So thank you, my friends, for being here. Thank you for being a part of my world. I look forward to meeting you in Foundation when you join. Again, that starts March 2nd, 2025. And let me know in the comments below what you discovered today. Share this video out with people you know could benefit from it. And I will see you in our next episode. Okay? Bye-bye. Hey, thank you for listening to today's episode. Now, are you looking for additional guidance in how to exit your codependency and create a life that's satisfying for you? If so, come join me in my email community. You can do that by going to join.freetheself.com or checking the description below and clicking the link there to join that community. You will receive more mentorship and guidance from me on how to navigate the 3 phases of thriving beyond codependency, those phases being survival, healing, and creation, as well as opportunities to join my courses, workshops, and other trainings that I offer throughout the year. So come join us there, and I will see you in our email community. Bye-bye.